Money is a great servant, but a terrible master. So make it work for you, not against you. That's the kind of mindset that separates those who struggle all their lives from those who eventually build freedom. See, the goal isn't just to earn money. That's only part of the job. The real challenge is learning how to manage it, direct it, and put it to work in ways that bring something back. Most people work hard all week, and by the end of the month, they've got nothing left to show for it. They spend, they stress, they repeat. But it doesn't have to be that way. Your money should be doing something for you. It should be growing, protecting, building. It should be buying you options, not obligations. In this video, we're going to talk straight about how to make your money work for you in real life. Not in theory, not in fantasy, but in real, daily, practical steps. Because once you understand how to take control of your finances, without excuses, without confusion, you stop working just to survive, and you start moving toward the life you've always wanted. Stick around. This could be the conversation that turns everything around. Number one, get serious about never being broke ever again. Get serious about never being broke ever again. That's not just a financial idea. That's a personal decision. That's a line in the sand. That's you saying, I've had enough of this. And until you get to that point where you're truly fed up with being behind, nothing will change. You can read every book on wealth, watch every video about money, follow every financial guru, but if you don't decide with full conviction that you're done being broke, your habits will never shift and your life won't either. Being broke is not just about money. It's a mindset. It's how you manage your time. It's what you tolerate. It's the choices you make every single day. You wake up late, you stroll through your phone, you ignore the bills, you delay the plan, you stay broke. Because broke isn't just what's in your wallet. Broke is in your behavior. And if you don't confront it head on, you repeat the same cycle month after month, year after year. You've got to decide that from now on, your money is going to have a job. It's going to do something. It's not going to sit idle. It's not going to get wasted on things that don't add value. It's not going to be thrown into temporary pleasures that leave you feeling empty afterward. If your money isn't working, you're working for nothing. And that feeling of being stuck, of always chasing the next paycheck, of worrying whether you can cover the next expense, that becomes your whole life unless you change it. So first, be honest with yourself. Look around. What are the things you've been spending on that haven't improved your life one bit? What are you doing every day that keeps your wallet empty and your head full of stress? Maybe it's takeout every day. Maybe it's buying what you don't need just because someone else has it. Maybe it's ignoring the credit card bill and hoping it disappears. But deep down, you know. And the moment you face it without excuses, that's when you get your power back. Now here's what serious people do. They build structure. They tell their money where to go before it disappears. They sit down and they plan. Not complicated spreadsheets, just a simple, real conversation with themselves. How much came in this month? How much went out? What did it go toward? Was it survival or was it nonsense? That awareness is the first step to building wealth. Because once you see where it's going, you can redirect it. You can take control. Most people avoid that step. You know why? Because it's uncomfortable. It's easier to stay distracted. It's easier to blame the economy. It's easier to say, I don't make enough. But the truth is, even when people earn more, they often stay broke. You've seen it. A raise comes in, and the lifestyle expands with it. More money, more spending, no real change. So this isn't just about income. It's about choices, and you're in charge of your choices. You have to put yourself in a position where you stop depending on chance. You stop waiting for some miracle. You stop playing defense with your money. You move to offense. You say, this dollar I just earned, I'm not letting it run away. I'm putting it to work. That means saving, that means investing, that means educating yourself about how money actually grows. You don't need to know everything today, but you've got to be curious. You've got to be hungry to learn. And you've got to respect every dollar you earn like it took time from your life to get it, because it did. You work hard, you put in hours, you face pressure, you deal with people. So when that paycheck lands, honor it. Don't throw it at things that leave you with nothing. Put it where it matters. Pay yourself first. That doesn't mean buying things. It means keeping a piece of your money for your future. It means building a financial wall around your family. It means making sure the sacrifices you make today lead to security tomorrow. And let's not pretend that changing this is easy. It's not. You'll be tempted. You'll want to go back to comfort, but just remember what being broke feels like. Remember what it's like when your card gets declined. Remember the stress of avoiding calls. Remember the shame of not being able to help someone you care about because you didn't have enough. And then decide that you're not going back there. You don't have to make $1 million to stop being broke. You just have to start acting like someone who refuses to live on empty. That's what changes everything. When you hold your money accountable, when you stop letting it slip through your fingers, when you get serious, not casual, about building something real with it. Serious people have goals, real ones, not "I want to be rich someday." That's a wish. Goals are numbers. Goals have deadlines. Goals make you uncomfortable. If your goal doesn't scare you a little, it's too small. So set it. Say, in the next 12 months, I will save this much. I will invest that much. I will learn about this. And then make it non-negotiable. Like rent, like food, like oxygen. You don't try to breathe. You do it. And that's the mindset you need with your money now. You're not stuck. You're not too late. You're not behind. You just haven't made the decision. But once you do, once you say, "I will not live broke again," everything changes. Your actions sharpen, your focus tightens, you begin to feel proud again. And you know what that leads to? Momentum. And momentum beats motivation every time. You don't have to get it all right at once. You just have to stop doing what keeps you broke, cancel what doesn't add value, sell what you don't need, cut off habits that drain your money, say no more often, be more selective. And start small if you must, but start strong, with commitment, with fire, with clarity. This is your life. And every day you stay broke by choice is a day you can't get back. So today is the line. Today is the start. Not tomorrow, not next month. You've waited long enough. You've doubted yourself long enough. Get serious now. Make the decision, and don't just talk about it, live it. Your future self will thank you every single day for the moment you got serious. And from here forward, your money won't own you. You be in charge. That's real freedom. And that starts today. Number 2, put your money where it brings something back. Put your money where it brings something back. That's the principle. If your money isn't giving you something in return, you're using it wrong. Every dollar you spend should either improve your life, protect your life, or grow your future. Anything else is just waste. It might feel good in the moment, but if it leaves you with nothing lasting, you've lost more than money. You've lost time, opportunity, and progress. You don't have to be wealthy to think this way. You just have to be intentional. Too many people treat money like it's supposed to disappear. They get it and immediately look for ways to spend it. They chase a feeling. They don't think long term. And when life hits, they've got nothing to fall back on. That cycle continues until someone finally says, "I'm not doing this anymore. I'm done putting my money into things that drain me." You don't have to live like that. You can start today by thinking clearly about one thing: return. What am I getting in return for this expense? Does it build me? Does it support my health, my knowledge, my relationships, my goals? Or does it distract me and set me back? These are the kinds of questions serious people ask before they hand over their money. The truth is, money is only powerful when you use it with direction. If your money doesn't know where to go, it'll end up in someone else's pocket. You'll spend it on what looks exciting instead of what actually matters. You'll buy something today and feel regret tomorrow. You'll look at your bank account and wonder where it all went. That's what happens when you don't place your money where it brings something back. Real value starts with clarity. That means knowing what you want your life to look like 1 year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. Once you're clear on that, you can start making decisions that support it. You begin to see that every purchase is either helping you or hurting you. You're not just buying things, you're building direction. You're choosing outcomes. You're taking control. If you want to grow, spend money on skills. Buy the course, attend the workshop, pick up the book. If you want to earn more, invest in learning how money works. Don't just hope things will get better. Make them better. And that means making your money work harder than you do. You shouldn't always be trading time for money. Eventually, your money should be buying you time. But it starts by putting it in the right places. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to shift. Start small if you have to. Set aside a part of your income that doesn't get touched unless it's going to grow or protect something important. Maybe that's your savings. Maybe that's a small investment. Maybe it's starting something on the side that brings in a little extra. The amount doesn't matter as much as the habit. The goal is to train yourself to stop wasting and start planting. Because the money you plant wisely always brings something back. Take a look at your habits. What do you spend money on weekly that has no lasting value? That doesn't move you closer to anything? That keeps you comfortable but not capable? Track those things. Not to shame yourself, but to wake yourself up. That awareness is power. Because once you see it, you can change it. You can cut what weakens you and keep what strengthens you. Now think about this. What if every dollar you earned this month had a mission? What if it had to serve you in some way before it left your hands? You'd make different choices. You'd pause before buying. You'd think before acting. You'd say no more often. And you'd stop chasing approval through purchases that leave you emptier than before. And here's the test. If you didn't show off your money to anyone, would you still spend the way you do? That question hits hard because so often people spend weekends not to build value, but to impress people who don't even care. And when the lights go off and the noise dies down, they're left with more stuff and less peace. That's not a good trade. That's not a return. That's financial anxiety dressed up as self-expression. You need to be bold enough to stop living for temporary approval. You need to care more about your long-term security than short-term comfort. That's what real strength looks like. It's discipline, it's restraint. It's saying, I could buy this, but it brings me nothing lasting, so I won't. That's the mindset that builds financial confidence. And confidence is the foundation for freedom. Not all returns are financial. Some are emotional, some are mental, some are spiritual. If the money you're spending gives you back peace, clarity, focus, energy, or deep knowledge, that's a good return. If it helps you sleep better at night, protects your family, prepares you for what's ahead, that's money well spent. But if it brings a quick high and a long low, that's a habit that needs to go. You deserve a life that doesn't revolve around paycheck stress. You deserve to feel in control when a bill shows up. But you won't get there by spending randomly. You'll get there by telling every dollar what it needs to do before it leaves. You'll get there by being intentional, by acting like someone who wants their money to serve them, not the other way around. Here's the bottom line. If your money isn't coming back in the form of growth, stability, peace, or progress, it's not working. It's slipping. It's leaking. And leaks become floods over time. So tighten it up. Get serious about where every cent goes. Look for return in every decision. And protect your future by protecting how you spend today. You're not here to live paycheck to paycheck forever. You're not meant to work hard only to feel stuck at the end of every month. You have the power to break the cycle, not by earning 10 times more, but by using what you have better. And when you get that right, you won't just make money, you'll multiply it. You won't just get by, you'll get ahead. This is your moment to act, to stop wasting and start building, to stop reacting and start planning, to stop chasing and start choosing. You've worked too hard to keep watching your money disappear with nothing to show for it. From now on, put your money where it brings something back. That decision alone will start turning everything around. Number 3, learn the rules before you start playing with cash. Learn the rules before you start playing with cash. That's not just advice, it's a warning. Too many people jump into money decisions without understanding what they're actually doing. They hear about investing, about saving, about making money grow, and they rush in, they throw money at things they don't fully understand, and then when it goes wrong, they're surprised. But the problem wasn't the idea. The problem was the lack of preparation. If you don't take time to learn the rules, you'll pay the price, not just in money, but in time, stress, and regret. Every game has rules, and money is no different. There are patterns, there are principles, there are mistakes that get repeated by people who never slowed down long enough to understand how the system really works. When you know the rules, you avoid those mistakes. You see the traps before they show up. You stop depending on luck and start acting with strategy. The first rule is to know where you are. Not where you wish you were, not where you pretend to be, where you actually are. How much do you earn? How much do you spend? What do you owe? What do you own? Until you answer those questions with brutal honesty, you're playing blind. And people who play blind usually lose. The goal is not to impress anyone. The goal is to know your position. That's how you move with intention. Another rule, never risk what you can't afford to lose. It doesn't matter how good something sounds. If losing that money would leave you broken, stressed, or stuck, it's not worth it. People get excited about fast returns. They hear stories of someone turning a few $100s into thousands, but they don't hear the full story. They don't hear about the risk, the preparation, or the years of learning that came before that win. You don't build wealth by gambling. You build it by learning, planning, and staying patient. Before you start putting money into anything, business, stocks, real estate, even your own ideas, study it. Learn how it works. Learn what the risks are. Learn what can go wrong. Learn what happens when the market changes. Don't follow hype. Don't follow noise. Follow facts. Follow experience. Follow the ones who've been through ups and downs and still stand strong. They'll show you what most people don't talk about. The setbacks, the slow seasons, the internal pressure. Financial mistakes are not just numbers. They're emotional. You feel them. They keep you up at night. They cause arguments. They create anxiety. That's why you don't rush into financial decisions. That's why you slow down and ask questions. That's why you take notes. Because money doesn't care about how excited you are. It only responds to discipline and structure. If you don't bring that into the game will take from you. Knowledge is not optional anymore. It's a requirement. Especially in a world where money moves faster than ever. You have access to more information than people had decades ago. But that doesn't mean you're learning. It just means you're exposed. Real learning means taking the time to understand. It means asking, what happens after I do this? What's the consequence? That mindset puts you ahead of most people. Another rule, don't copy what you don't understand. Just because someone else made money doing something doesn't mean you will. You don't know their timing, you don't know their preparation, you don't know their pain tolerance. What worked for them might destroy you. That's why comparison is dangerous. What looks like a shortcut might be a setup. The better path is to build your own foundation. Understand the why behind the decision, not just the result. Build slowly, build smart, build on truth. If you don't understand it, don't touch it. If it doesn't make sense to you, walk away until it does. There is no reward for acting fast and failing hard, but there is power in being the one who thinks before they move, the one who listens more than they speak, the one who admits when they don't know something and takes time to figure it out. Don't fall for the pressure to do something now. Pressure leads to panic, and panic leads to poor choices. If it can't wait for you to learn it, it's probably not real. Anything real can be understood, anything solid can be explained, and anything worth doing is worth learning. That's how you build trust in your own decision-making. That's how you stop relying on someone else to tell you what to do with your money. And let's be clear, no one is coming to save you from your financial mistakes. You have to own them. You have to learn from them. And if you're smart, you'll prevent most of them by slowing down, by studying, by preparing. This is your life, your time, your energy. Don't let it be wasted because you didn't take a few days or weeks to learn something important. Money is emotional. It's tied to your choices, your habits, your beliefs, your fears. If you don't get those things under control, you'll always make emotional decisions with your money. And emotional decisions usually cost more than they're worth. You'll spend to feel better. You'll invest out of desperation. You'll avoid reality. And you'll keep wondering why things never get better. But you can change that. You can become the kind of person who understands the game before playing, who takes notes, who reads, who asks questions, who waits, not out of fear, but out of strength. Because the person who waits to understand doesn't lose. They win long term. They build a financial life that lasts. Not one that's loud, but one that's solid. You don't need to be a financial expert to make smart decisions. You just need to care enough to learn, to look deeper, to avoid shortcuts. The ones who stay in control are not always the ones who start fast. They're the ones who think long term, who choose structure over speed, who understand the value of knowing the rules before they play. This is your moment to stop guessing and start learning, to stop reacting and start thinking, to stop hoping and start planning. You're not behind. You're just one smart decision away from changing how money works in your life. And that decision is this: learn the rules before you start playing with cash, because once you know how the game works, you can start playing to win. Number 4, stop buying things that make you feel regret. Stop buying things that make you feel regret. That sentence might sound simple, but it holds the power to change your entire financial direction. Every time you buy something that gives you guilt instead of growth, you lose more than money. You lose self-respect. You lose clarity. You lose momentum. That momentary excitement quickly fades, and what you're left with is an emotional weight that drags you down. That kind of spending is not a reward, it's a setback. People don't talk enough about how buying the wrong things affects your mind. They think it's just about the cost, but it's deeper than that. It's how you feel afterward. It's the shame that creeps in when you realize the item didn't do what you hoped it would do. It's the feeling of being out of control again. That emotional toll builds up over time, and when it does, it creates a habit of disappointment. It becomes normal to spend money and feel bad later. But that's not normal. That's not healthy. That's not wise. If you're serious about building a life that feels strong and stable, you have to start by cutting the waste. And the biggest waste is buying things that leave you feeling worse than before. If you walk out of a store or check out online and already feel regret, something's wrong. That means your spending isn't rooted in purpose, it's driven by emotion. And emotions will lead you in circles unless you take control of them. You have to ask real questions before you buy. Why am I doing this? What am I hoping this will fix? Is this for comfort or is this for progress? Am I spending because I'm tired, bored, insecure, or trying to keep up with someone else? When you stop and ask these questions, you interrupt the emotional pattern. You give yourself a moment of power. And sometimes that moment is all you need to say, not this time. The truth is, most people know what those regret purchases are. They're the things you hide, the things you defend later, the things you say, I probably shouldn't have bought that, but then do it again next week. It's the subscription you don't use, the gadget you don't need, the clothes you never wear, the food that didn't satisfy. It's the fast decisions that leave a slow disappointment. But no one else can stop it for you. That part is on you. It's not about becoming a minimalist. It's about becoming responsible. If something adds value to your life, great, buy it. But if it's just a temporary escape from discomfort, recognize that. Because regret spending doesn't solve problems, it hides them for a few minutes, then makes them worse. You owe it to yourself to be honest about what you're doing with your money. Because if you don't respect it, it won't stick around, and you'll keep wondering why things never get better. Think back to the last few things you bought that made you feel regret. What were they? What led to those decisions? What emotion were you chasing at that moment? Maybe it was stress. Maybe you were trying to distract yourself. Maybe it was about impressing someone. But whatever it was, recognize that pattern. That's where your power lies, in noticing the moment before it repeats. Start small. Make a rule that you don't buy anything unnecessary on impulse. Give yourself a 24-hour pause. If you still want it after that, at least you've given yourself time to think. Most of the time, you'll move on and forget about it. That's how you train your brain to stop chasing empty satisfaction. That's how you learn discipline. And that discipline gives you pride. It builds your identity as someone who makes strong decisions, not just with money, but in life. You deserve to feel in control of your choices. You deserve to look at your bank account and feel peace, not panic. And that starts when you stop letting small purchases steal your future. It's the little things that add up, 10 here, 20 there, 50 over there. It doesn't seem like much until you look back at the month and realize how much was wasted on things that gave you nothing. This isn't about being cheap. It's about being intentional. It's about making sure that everything you spend lines up with who you want to become. And if something doesn't match that vision, it doesn't deserve your money. When you treat your money with respect, it starts to stay. It starts to grow. It starts to serve you. And you stop serving your impulses. The people who win with money aren't always the ones who make the most. They're the ones who control how they spend. They don't chase the latest thing. They don't fall for every trend. They keep their focus. And that focus is what builds freedom. Freedom isn't in buying whatever you want. Freedom is in knowing you don't need to buy to feel good. That's real power. You've got to stop looking for happiness in stuff. Things wear out, the feeling fades, the bill remains. If something outside of you controls how you feel inside, you're going to live in a cycle of disappointment. Break that cycle. Decide that your peace is worth more than a package. Your future is worth more than another purchase. Your goals are worth more than 5 minutes of pleasure followed by hours of regret. Every time you stop yourself from buying something that doesn't bring real value, you win. You prove to yourself that you're in control, that you're building discipline, that you're moving forward. And those small wins build momentum. They add up. They change how you see yourself. You start to believe that maybe you are capable of managing money well. Maybe you can be trusted with more. Maybe you can build something real. You don't need to feel guilty about your past spending, but you do need to learn from it. Regret is only useful if it pushes you toward better decisions. So use it. Let it remind you of the kind of life you want to create, one where you're not weighed down by useless purchases, one where your money reflects your values, one where your choices build you, not break you. Start today, not tomorrow, not next week, today. The next time you feel the urge to buy something, pause. Ask yourself, will I feel good about this after it's done? If the answer is no, walk away. It's not worth it. You don't need more stuff. You need more strength. And every decision you make is a vote for the kind of person you're becoming. From this point forward, make a promise to yourself. No more buying regret. No more trading your money for guilt. No more pretending that comfort is the same as happiness. From now on, you only invest in what builds you, what helps you grow, what brings peace, not problems. That's how you take back control. That's how you change your financial life. And it starts with one clear rule. Stop buying things that make you feel regret. Number 5, use your money to build freedom, not pressure. Use your money to build freedom, not pressure. That's one of the clearest decisions you will ever make in your financial life. You can either let your money create peace or let it create stress. The choice is yours. Every time you get paid, you are handed an opportunity to move closer to independence or deeper into worry. But most people never stop to think about it. They spend without thinking. They chase comfort in the moment and forget about what it costs them long term. That's how pressure starts. It doesn't show up all at once. It builds slowly, one careless choice at a time. Freedom is when your money gives you options. It gives you time. It gives you breathing room. It gives you the ability to walk away from things that don't serve you. It gives you space to think clearly. But that only happens when you plan for it. It doesn't happen by accident. It happens when you decide to stop using money to impress others and start using it to secure yourself. Pressure comes when you're always catching up. When you're locked into bills, payments, obligations you can't escape, that pressure affects how you sleep, how you think, how you act. It creates fear. It limits your ability to choose freely. And no one wants that. Yet most people live in it because they've never made the decision to step out of it. Look around and ask yourself, are the things you're spending money on building pressure or building peace? Are they giving you more freedom next month, or are they locking you into another cycle of stress? That's the question that separates the people who move forward from the ones who stay stuck. Freedom starts by saying no. No to unnecessary payments, no to emotional spending, no to trying to prove something with your wallet. Because when you stop trying to prove something, you finally start building something. People misunderstand money. They think more money means less pressure. But that's not always true. More money with bad habits just means more expensive problems. It's not how much you earn, it's what you do with what you have. Pressure comes when your lifestyle rises faster than your discipline. You get a raise and suddenly you're spending more. You get a bonus and you upgrade your life instead of protecting it. And now you're under even more pressure, even though you're making more than ever before. Freedom with money means having margin. It means not spending everything you earn. It means creating a gap between what comes in and what goes out. That gap is where freedom lives. That's where opportunity grows. That's where you breathe easier. But you only get that margin when you make tough decisions now so you can have an easier life later. Most people do the opposite. They choose easy now and pay for it with hard later. Use your money to build systems that support you. Save before you spend. Put money away that you don't touch unless it's truly needed. Build an emergency fund. Create a plan that allows you to walk through unexpected moments without falling apart. Because pressure doesn't just come from big problems. It comes from small surprises you weren't ready for. A broken car, a medical bill, a lost job. These things happen. They're part of life. But when you're prepared, they don't crush you. They don't steal your peace. They don't send you into panic. Freedom also means choices. When your money is managed well, you can choose how to spend your time. You can choose who to work with. You can walk away from toxic situations because you're not financially trapped. That's a different kind of strength. That's not about showing off. That's about protecting your energy, your time, and your future. But that kind of life isn't given, it's built. You build it by using your money with discipline. You build it by thinking beyond today. Don't make money decisions based on what everyone else is doing. Most people are stressed even if they look successful. They're carrying debt they can't manage. They're living paycheck to paycheck. They're constantly on edge. So if you follow them, you'll end up in the same place. The goal isn't to look rich. The goal is to live well, to live free. That means ignoring trends and making choices that align with your goals, not someone else's opinion. Take a hard look at what your money is doing for you. If it's just paying off things you don't even care about anymore, that's pressure. If you're spending to escape emotions, that's pressure. If you're relying on credit to keep your lifestyle alive, that's pressure. And that pressure builds quietly. It steals your options. It forces you to keep working jobs you don't like just to survive. But that can change if you take control now. Start using your money to buy back your time. Invest in what makes you stronger. Spend on things that give you skills, clarity, and direction. Protect your peace. Spend less than you earn and save what you can, not to hoard, but to create options. So you're not stuck, so you're not scared. So you don't have to say yes when you really want to say no. You don't have to have it all figured out. You just have to start. Make your next money decision one that brings freedom, not frustration. Start with one bill. Pay something off. Cancel something you don't use. Say no to a purchase you don't need. And take that saved money and build your cushion. Do it again next week, then again next month. Keep going until the habits start to stick. And as they stick, the pressure starts to drop. Your breathing gets easier. Your sleep gets better. Your confidence rises. You'll start to feel something different, not the thrill of a new item, but the quiet power of being in control. That's freedom, and it lasts longer than any possession. It gives you peace on a Sunday night. It gives you confidence when prices go up. It gives you stability when others are panicking. And once you feel that kind of strength, you won't want to go back to the pressure. You deserve a life that isn't controlled by fear of bills. You deserve mornings that don't start with financial anxiety. You deserve the dignity of choice. But no one gives that to you. You earn it by managing your money with purpose. Every dollar can bring you closer to stress or closer to... The way you spend is either making you free or making you nervous. So the question is simple. What kind of life do you want? One where you're always chasing, always reacting, always under pressure, or one where you have space, security, and strength? If you want the second one, start today. Start where you are. No matter what your income is, you can begin using your money in a better way. And it starts with this. Use your money to build freedom, not pressure. That one choice changes everything that comes after.